Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're here for round 3 of N5 racing here at the Fuji International Speedway short course. So basically, instead of doing the little tight chicane, you just do a fast right-hander instead. So coming into quali then and preparing the lap, giving my mates Cornelius and Tumble a little bit of a tow, just to help them out with their pace a little bit. And yeah, we got 10 minutes in this qualifying session, so we'll be starting our first fly. A very long pit straight here at Fuji, sorry. All the way to the left hand side then. 7.5 minutes left to go in the session. Banging the little jump, just a little joke, on the straights, just banging the drum. But coming into turn 1 then, braking just before the 150 board, but really spamming the gears then, making the most of the engine brake and locking the rears a little bit, trail braking in second gear, hitting a late-ish apex, getting on the throttle as early as you can, second gear pull out of the corner, want to be hitting about 85 as soon as you hit that right kink. All the way to the right hand side then for this fast right hander, braking just before the 50 board then, about 80 maybe, into third gear, using as much of that curb on the inside, power on as early as you can. Now, flat out, all the way through this right hander as long as you can, just a quick lift, then trying to get back on the power as early as you can to keep it all the way to the right hand side then for this little left hander. Keep it in third gear. You can see I'll go into second and slide a bit too much, can't quite get the power down enough either, so having to short shift in for third. If you keep it in third, you don't have to shift up a gear, which really does help get a better run out of the corner. So now coming in to where the chicane should be, instead we just do a fast right, so braking just at the Dunlop banner there into third gear, using much of the curb on the inside as we can, flat out all the way over the curb then, and braking just after the start of the curb for this first right hander into the final sector, then keeping it in third gear to get the pull out and trying to keep it tight for this next uphill left hander into second gear to get the bite, late apex to get a straight exit for the final corner then, through the penultimate corner and into the final corner. We're going to brake, get really wide second gear, then bite it back to get a straight and flat exit off the corner then. And what is this time gonna be on the long run to the line then? And Cornelius as well, looking pretty punchy and quick on his lap as well, obviously in our slipstream, so definitely should be going quicker. We come across the line then, and it's gonna be a 49.6, which is a provisional pole position for the time being. So later on in the session then, our next flying lap, and it's so far it has been pretty damn decent. You can see at the sector time we are what, 4/10 purple then, and you can see we've caught up to Mr. Grumpy, who's not on a flying lap at the moment. Cornelius bottles it behind a little bit, laughing about that. But coming into the final sector then, you can see Grumpy is a little bit slow. We're in the tow, and it just really just catches us out. We brake a little bit too late and just go straight on following Grumpy, and yeah, just a bit frustrated with the Grumpy. Like, no, he didn't really do anything wrong, but yeah, it would have been a lot better if he just moved out of the way. I was too focused on him and not my lap. Definitely did cost us a good pole time, but you can see coming across the line for our final and fastest lap, it was a 49.4. We're going to go for one more flyer then, braking at the 150 board, really spamming down the gears as much as we can. We've also got Willis in our tow, looking feisty as well, looking to claim his first pole position and be the first driver to out-qualify me. So far it has been pole win-win, pole win-win for myself, yet to be out-qualified or outscored in the race. Can Willis do anything about that today? He's looking pretty quick here at the Fuji International Speedway. Certainly one of the quicker drivers so far this season, looking pretty good in third in the standings, and isn't doing too bad tonight either. Obviously in my tow, so we should be going a little bit quicker. I really haven't had the opportunity to have a slipstream for the moment, so every lap I've done has been without tow. You can see 2/10 up on our lap time then, as we look to round off the lap. About halfway through then this lap, coming into the fast right, what are we going to be up on our time by? Is it purple? It's about 2/10 up, which isn't going to be good enough for pole as it stands, but there is time to be gained in this final sector, so we're going to really chuck it in then, go a little bit wide, but get a good run out. Gap and Cornelius on the exit then, as you can see on the radar, coming through here, pushing it, keeping it tight, running it out wide, then cutting in for that apex to get a good run, really fighting the car to keep it in a straight line. It does sort of work though, so we're going to be trail braking through the final corner for our fastest lap, and we'll see what it's going to be Is it going to be the third pole position in a row, or are we going to lose our streak here in qualifying? We're going to come across the line. We're not going to be able to have a good enough run for the next lap, so this is going to be our final lap. It's a 49.2, which is just off purple with a 0.027 gap to Cornelius. So Willis is the first driver to out-qualify us this season, which was very, very frustrating, because I knew if it wasn't for that grumpy incident, I definitely could have been on pole position. So we've lost our pole streak, but we haven't lost our race win streaks just yet. So we're going to be looking to defend those run of victories in the race. That's where the points are scored. Well, actually, there's a pole for point. Point for pole, so it's not all scored in the race, but the majority of the points are scored in the race, so we're going to go there now. Over everyone else in these.
Well, not when I'm full throttle or no throttle.
So, pre-race chat done, and we go to the lights, traction control on, it is lights out, and away we go. And it's an amazing start then, compared to the pole sitter of Willis then, who immediately darts to the inside, but we have the space on the inside, trying to work with him though, to prevent Frome and Blue Mosquito coming through. So we're going to be on the inside, but we are going to park it on the apex, to allow him to keep it on the outside of Frome. He gets a really good launch off the corner though, which is going to allow him to have a run into this next corner. Really do not want to be fighting this, and as I know Frome will be going for the inside, following Willis through. We're going to manage to keep it around the outside of him though, and have the inside for this next corner, which is going to mean we're going to be able to run him out wide through this long right-hander. Really no way you can keep it on the outside, but really pushing Willis through this corner then. Are we going to be able to have a look? No, because we're going to have to defend from Frone's upper inside. We brake later and claim the apex over Frome. Just squeeze him out that little bit. Much bit of contact though as we're sideways out the corner. There's a bit of contact between myself and Frome. No bad blood though, and it is all good. We are good to chase after Willis. Monitoring the fuel situation then in mode 1. We'll probably have to pop it down to mode 2 just to make sure we get the extra lap we need on the softs. Frome pushing us through these fast corners. Throughout the races you'll notice he is rapid, where you really need to chuck the car in and have a lot of confidence. Very good respects to him there. Just couldn't hook it up right in quali, but holding station in P2 then, as Willis retains first from pole position as we round off the first lap, looking to stretch our legs from Frome behind. Doesn't look like we'll be going to be dropping him anytime soon, as he's really pushing us through this final corner. We get a mega exit though to Willis in mode 2. Are we going to drop it to mode 1 to try and keep in the tow? No, we're going to hold it in the tow and try and save as much fuel as we possibly can in the race. We've got 16 laps. We want to be looking to make it to around about lap 9, similar to how we did in the previous race. But Frome with a mega run. We look half-heartedly to the inside. He's going to go even more to the inside, so we're going to pull back to the outside. Brake as late as we can compared to Frome, and he's a little bit ahead, but he's going to get pinched on the apex, so we're going to use our momentum to soar around the outside of him. Still be side by side. Coming out of the corner though, he's had a bit of a better run coming in to this fast left-hander. We've got the inside. We bunk it down into mode 1, back into mode 2, just to give us that little extra bite coming into the corner. We're going to claim the corner and take it as our own, keeping that P2 as we look to chase after Willis then. And it is now our race to try and catch up to him in this first stint. We cannot let him get out of that sweet 8/10th sweet spot for tow. So cutting on to the next lap then, we look like we are right on the back, coming on to finish lap 2, right on the back of Willis then in the slipstream. We're going to pull out and just sort of work with him. We set the fastest lap of a 50.2 while we're at it. He short shifts to 6th to just concede that position. He knows we're quicker, and he just wants to work with us at this stage in the race, try and save a little bit more of fuel, which is fully respectable to Willis. Of course, if he wants to win the race, he can battle it out. I will not object to that. Fair enough to him. But coming to lap 3 now, you can see Willis has got a pretty good run, and we're not going to fight it too much. If he does look to the inside, looks like he's just going to work with us though. So coming on to lap 4 then, and we've got a bit of a gap to Willis behind, and it looks like Frome's looking to get past Willis then here as we enter the first 25% of the race completed. Frome all over the back of Willis then through this fast right-hander just before the last sector. He's really close, pushing him. He's going to go for a move into the right-hander. Willis is going to look to the outside. No, he's going to try and set up a cutback as he looks to bleed that 1 second penalty he picked up earlier in the lap then Frome looking strong to try and chase after us, but Willis will not give this position up easily. Blue Mosquito languishing in the background as well as we come on to lap 5. Is Willis going to go for an audacious dive into the final corner? No, it looks like he's going to go wider, cut in for the long straight ahead in the slipstream. He's had a good run, bit of a wobble though all over the AstroTurf, gets a little bit shaky, but still has a good enough run. Frome still on the left hand side, doesn't look like he's going to defend too hardly. Willis to the inside then, early, and pulls out of the slipstream. Frome in my slipstream is going to have a good enough run into turn 1, but it looks like Willis has the overspeed coming into turn 1 then. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? It looks like he's claimed that P2 position. He is ahead coming into the corner. He's going to be braking just at the 150 board then. A little bit of a lockup from Willis. Frome tries to set up a cutback, and he's got the cutback then on turn 1, and Willis tries to keep it there, get it bit back just enough to keep the run and the momentum going. They're still going to be side by side. Blue Mosquito getting a front row seat to all of this happening. He's going to have the inside for the next left-hander. Frome tries to swoop around the outside. Willis gives him the space. Frome completely soars around the outside. Willis tries to keep the foot in around the outside. They're going to still be side by side. Willis having to just concede now to Frome, who takes that corner, and the fight for P2. He's currently claiming it, but Willis is going to dart to the inside, keep Frome ominous all the way to the inside. Frome setting up another cutback as Willis goes in a little bit too deep. He's got the exit though, still going to be side by side, losing just a little bit more time to myself and Blue Mosquito, but great racing between these two, not giving an inch, but also very good, clean, respecting racing. And Willis is going to be on the inside for this fast right-hander. Is Frome going to be able to keep it on the outside, or is he going to set up a cutback? It looks like he's going to have to concede that position for now, but Willis all over the grass, going to give Frome a look up the inside once again as he did a lap earlier. Willis on the outside, he picks up another 5-second penalty for good measure, and it looks like he's going to have to concede that P2 position for now. But there's definitely more opportunities to pick it up as Blue Mosquito has a little look on the inside of him as well. Willis really under pressure to lose the podium. He really needs to keep with Flying Frome. But coming back to ourselves then on lap 7 coming to lap 8, just monitoring the gap, you can see how consistent our lap times have been in that middle right section of the screen. So just going to cut on to lap 9, and this is where we've been saving fuel to make it to, just to give that one extra lap on the softs. You can see everyone else has followed us as well, still setting powerful lap times on these tyres, so they didn't really go off, which is good for us. Coming in to the pit lane then, putting in just enough fuel, and you can see we've come out ahead of our championship rival of Flying Frome, which is always a plus. Trying to get accustomed to these medium tyres then earlier in the stint. 7 laps to go, and we have a little bit of fuel to save as we underfueled a little bit too much, but he's 1.5 seconds back, which isn't too bad. We can monitor this gap, but we've also got Blue Mosquito looking feisty on the softs. He's got Willis Frome before he has to negotiate me. Coming on to lap 12 then, you can see we've saved the fuel that we needed to save, still just keeping it in mode 2 for the time being, and monitoring the gap to Frome behind. But again, nothing really happening, just monitoring the gap. So we're here on the penultimate lap of lap 15, and you can see Blue Mosquito's had a really nice run on the inside of Frome. He's on the outside for the next corner, but that superior soft tyre grip means Frome really can't do anything. So it looks like Blue Mosquito is unchained and free to chase after us. We've got a lap and a half to go. We're going to need to have all the fuel ready to deploy if we need it. Coming on to the final lap then, the gap is 1.4 seconds. This is very similar to what happened with Simo in the last race, as he got unchained in the last couple of stages of the race, and it is us looking to hold on to our streak of back-to-back victories. Can we hold on to it, or will the soft grips get the better of us? We should be okay. We've got enough fuel to hold it in that mode 1 mix, and Blue Mosquito has a lap to gain about a second on us. It is doable. The mediums are a lot slower, but can our pace alone try and even out the gap then? Under 1 second now is the gap as we negotiate this long right hand corner for the final time of the race. Of course, we have the reverse grid race up next, which is definitely always going to be interesting to spice up the grid. Willis running strong in P4, not the best race from him, but no mistakes, and just got caught up with the strategy and everything. So no mistakes, and he's definitely improving, especially his quali pace. His quali pace is a stellar, absolutely amazing. Of course, the only driver other than myself to take pole position, which is always good from his point of view. Also taking a couple of wins here in M5, his first being at the Fuji International Circuit last season. so he knows his way around the circuit. Blue Mosquito then, he's got a couple of corners. We've managed to negotiate the last lap pretty well and actually managed to pull a gap to Blue Mosquito. So with a 1 second gap coming into the last corner, unless we have a horrific run, it should look likely for us to take our 5th victory of the season. So we come out of the last corner. He's got a bit of a run. It's not quite going to be enough though, so it looks like we are going to come across the line with 0.6 laps of fuel remaining. We're going to crawl to the inside to take the checkered flag and our 5th consecutive win of the season, and that is amazing for us. Great racing from everyone at P2 to P1. We made the most of losing our streak then in that first stage of qualifying, and yeah, Willis in P4, Mullen in P8. Not a bad race for us boys, definitely some good points taken home, and obviously we're still undefeated in the race, so always good. And we're going to go to the reverse grid race now. Here we go. Got Trit and Dave watching. We love Trit and Dave.
Fuck you,
No,
got
they're
fans.
listening, not watching. Dave!
Welcome to
So,
the Sweeney Sea
reverse grid is
podcast.
always a shit show, but we will work it out.
Watch this. Tell Trit to watch my stream.
Back
for the
now
first lap.
for the reverse grid race, starting in P10 as we go to the lights.
And it is
Lights out and away we go for one more time this evening then, in the tow of Flying Frame ahead, trying to make up positions. You can see everyone darting to the inside to defend. Tumble trying to make up positions. We tap Blue Mosquito there a little bit as he breaks a little bit earlier. We go for a nice cutback there, really tight, get massive tanks after though, and we've gained about 5 positions through that one cutback over the grass then, and in the tow of Juho Finn, squeezing Simo all the way to the inside. It looks like he's going to have the inside for this corner. We get absolutely sent from the back. Definitely need to claim 4 whiplash there. Someone sent us up the bum, very much so, but still our positions and side by side with our championship rival. Gonna look like we're going to run him out. Can't quite get the grip, so we're going to use the grip all the way to the outside and trying to hang it around the outside of Flying Frome, get a bit of a slide, and he's going to claim that P4 position as we look to claim positions, but he gets a little pinch on the outside, so we're going to ride the curb up the inside. Not much space there, but we make the room and look to make a move on Mullen as well. We look to the inside, we break, and he just moves on the break and it covers it off very nicely. Frome on our outside as well. We're going to claim that position once again. Mullen sends himself to the Shadow Realm, so that's us in a 2P3, P10 2P3, not too bad of a first lap then, and you can see us commentating live on the stream.
The first lap here at the Fuji International Speedway.
So yeah, not a bad lap then, and you can see we're commentating live as well, so sorry if there's any overlap. Just wanted to joke about, because Trit was listening to the stream in the car, so wanted to commentate and, you know, let him know what was going on. But in the slipstream of Grumpy, who will definitely not give this up easy as he looks to help Frome overtake us in the championship. So eating our chips on the straight and banging our drum on the straight as well. Frome with a speedy run. Then, as we didn't even realise till late, he's up our inside and we're going to look to the outside. Doesn't look like we're quite going to be able to look around the outside. We have a little look back out of it and try and set up a cutback as he looks to try and overtake his good friend Mr. Grumpy. Willis though, a couple of seconds up the road. It's going to be really crucial that we do not hold ourselves up too much in the pursuit of Willis. We look to the outside of Frome, set up a cutback. He goes a little bit deep. We're going to get a nice cutback. We're going to be on the outside for this long right where he has been on us many times. We squeeze him all the way to the inside, keep the foot in as much as possible. We're still going to be side by side. He gives us the room. We get the foot in and squeezes us all the way to the outside. We're going to have the inside once again, so we're going to send it up the inside of Frome, get it stopped. He's going to have another cutback though, so we're going to go straight to the inside then and make sure we can't get the room, but he's got the run and finds the space just as we did, and he's up the inside. Deja vu then on us as Frome moves back into that P3 in pursuit of Grumpy, coming in to this fast right on our second lap of the race. 3 seconds purple doesn't really mean much on this second lap though. as we need to get in front of Frame and chase after Willis. Our pace pretty similar then, myself and Frame. Grumpy getting pinched as well. He's going to be slow coming out this corner, so I'm just going to take the opportunity, stay tight to the inside, send it up the inside of both of them then, as Grumpy was slow, and he gets a nice cutback on us. We're going to look to the outside, squeezes us too much on the inside, so we're going to set up a cutback. But you look on the radar, we let Frame go too wide, and Tumble sends it up the inside then. Audacious move up into P4, and he sounds pretty chuffed for that move. So in the toe of Mr. Grumpy then, coming on to lap 3. Willis making the most of all this carnage behind to open up a gap in front. Lap 3 then, coming across, we set a 51.2 in the toe of Mr. Grumpy, looking up to make this position rather quickly. Still a long way to go in the race. He goes defensive. We're going to look to the outside. He looks to be braking a little late, so we're going to set up a cutback, get it stopped just about. We're going a bit deep ourselves. There's a carnage towards the back as well. We get a nice run on Mr. Grumpy. Is it going to be enough to have a look into this fast left? Doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it just much, so we're going to keep him on the inside and set up a cutback similar to how we did to Frome. Is it going to come to fruition? We get a bit of a tank slapper, so it's not going to be quite what we need on this occasion. Obviously, we've got plenty to go. He goes a little bit wide though, so we're going to take this opportunity, send up the inside, use the grass sideways, bit of contact between myself and Grumpy. We're going to be on the outside. He squeezes us all the way to the curb, and takes all the curb and squeezing us out, but gets a bit of a tank slapper, so we're going to take the opportunity around the outside. Still going to have the inside for the next corner, and we're going to be up into P2 then, as Grumpy gives us that position. Did not give it up easy though. Tumble getting pretty frustrated with Blue Mosquito, who did not give up that position easily. You may hear him let's just say not use some very PG language in the chat. But coming through this corner, you can see Grumpy just completely straight lines it, sends us to the Shadow Realm there. And I spoke with him after the race. He had a bit of a controller issue, but it costs us the position to Frome, so we're not going to be too eager to give this position up lightly. He looks to the outside. We're going to give him the space on the outside, which is unfortunate for us, so we're going to look around the outside then. Is it going to be enough? Not on this occasion, but coming down the straight then, and we're still behind Frome. Coming through turn 1 then, and you can see how close we were to completely getting sent to a new dimension. Absolutely so close as they drove each other off the track there. But moving on then, we're on the back of Frome, 5 tenths purple then, as you can see. Apologies for my voice, it is 3 o'clock as I'm recording this, nearly 4. So we're going to be down the inside of Frome. He's going to get it on the outside. We're going to give him the space, squeeze him all the way to the curb then, and he's on the inside of us into this corner. We're going to try and hang him to dry around the outside, squeeze him to the apex. He claims the apex and runs us out, but we've got our nose in, so it's going to be enough to claim this position into this next corner. If we can brake late enough, get it stopped, we're going to park on the apex to prevent any form of cutback then. And it looks like we managed to get that position on Frome sealed. The dump getting it up into mode 1 just to hold on for the time being. Skipping on lap, and you can see Frome is getting in front of us. It is not going to be good enough if we keep battling and wasting fuel, draining our tyres, so we're just going to work with him for the time being. You can see we're catching Cornelius slowly but surely. Cornelius being it's Willis who is up in front, just saving fuel and bumping him. But on this occasion, after a couple of laps of being behind him, we're going to send it up the inside. He's going to give us the position rather nicely. Good racecraft between myself and Frome, good mates of course, so we're definitely eager to work with each other to catch each other. But coming on to the end of lap 9 then, and you can see we're coming into the pit lane with its 0.8 laps of fuel, really chucking it into the pit lane and closing up to Frome then, and on the medium compound tyres then, and we're going to be refueling a little bit less fuel than we did last time, and making sure we can push all the way to the end. Coming out behind Frome again, apologies for my voice, but you can see Willis goes in super deep then into turn 1, does not get the most out of those medium tyres as he perhaps wanted to. Still got 7 laps to go in this race. Blue Mosquito as well, looking feisty once again on those soft compound tyres, so it's crucial we get in front of this train to have the cars between myself, Frome and Willis. Definitely do not want to be the first one getting swamped by the faster of Blue Mosquito, but he goes up the inside of Willis, setting up a cutback as he is done, but he's going to be vulnerable. We're going to get into the toe of Willis and recreate the move we made earlier in the race, sending up the inside. Very opportunistic move then by ourselves, up the inside, following Willis through and in the toe, coming into this fast right as he moves over. We're going to claim the apex then. Frome can't really do much. He's going to set up a cutback. We're going to park it and get the power down really nicely there and look to pursue Willis, who is still leading this race then with 4-5 laps to go. Frome looking up the inside of us on us a couple of times on the back of Willis though, and he gets a bit of a shaky start coming out this corner, so we're in a tow and we're close. We're going to bump it into mode 1 to give us that extra power. Frome falling off a little bit and Blue Mosquito languishing in the background. Willis goes to the inside to defend. We're going to pull to the outside, try and dummy to the inside. Doesn't come to fruition on this occasion though. Back into mode 2, setting up a cutback. Willis goes in a little bit deep. We slide a little bit too much. Frome back on the back of us now already. We're going to go to the inside of Willis. No space though, so we're going to go back and we're going to be 3 abreast as Frome looks on our outside. We squeeze Frome out and Willis just edges us out and holds on to that P1 position. We're going to look to the inside of this corner though. Are we? No, not going to get it quite, but he locks up, gets a bit shaky, so we're going to take the inside, and this is not where I want to be on the outside for the last corner, as this is going to allow Frome to try and follow Willis through on the inside. We're not going to let it happen though. We're going to tuck back in to the slipstream. He has a little look on the inside though, but coming on to lap 13 then, and you can see Blue Mosquito was caught back, so it's now a 4-way fight for the race lead then here at the Fuji International Speedway. Frome on our inside then, Willis distinguishing the tow pretty evenly, weaving across to give us the tow, but you can see the overspeed we've got.
None of you can have some. Holy shit, what is that?
And yeah, he didn't want to give us tow anymore, but we're going to be 3 abreast then, and these two are on the inside, so I'm going to brake early and set up a nice double cutback. Looks like Blue Mosquito is going to do the same. Willis and Frome going deep. Me and Blue Mosquito get a double cutback, and Blue Mosquito almost gets a cutback on us, so we're going to go into mode 1 just to make sure we can cover it off from Blue Mosquito. So it looks like we're going to keep that position, but later on in the lap then, Blue Mosquito is all over the back of us, and so is Willis, who sends it up the inside of Blue Mosquito. Bit of contact on the side then. They're going to be 3 abreast. Are they? No. We're going to lead the way with 4 laps to go in this race. Blue Mosquito on the inside of it's Willis then, and he looks like on the outside it's an absolute carnage. We're going to go to the outside. Willis sends up the inside. We're going to be 3 abreast coming into the fast right-hander. Surely no one's going to back out. 3 abreast. Someone had to back out there, and we managed to keep our footing around the outside. Willis back on the inside though. We're going to keep our footing around the outside, make sure we do not give him the space he needs, and coming on to finish the lap then onto lap 14, keeping the lap times pretty consistent despite the battling, and Willis on our inside. So we're going to go to the inside. He finds more space on the inside. Very fair racing, so we're going to move to the outside to make sure we don't tighten the corner up too much. Blue Mosquito sends one around the outside. We're going to take the grip, take the track away from him on the outside, get the power down, run him a little bit off track, but it was our line to take, and we've got to run on Willis then. Is it going to be enough to have a little look into this corner? Very fine margins, and we go down the inside and claim the corner for our own. Bit of contact, but it was our line, so we're going to reclaim the lead and try and hold on to our win record. This is really, I was genuinely scared I was going to lose it. This is the first time it's not exactly been plain sailing all the way through the race up until the end, so this is definitely a tough situation to be in. Very, very hard battling for all of us involved. Blue Mosquito definitely the quicker driver, but it looked like he had a bit of a moment further back, so he's fallen back into the clutches of Simo. So it's now a 3-horse race, and it looks like Willis and Frome falling off a little bit, coming on to the final lap then, 8 tenths back, and just trying to drive it home then and make sure he is not in the tow for the final lap. Is Willis. Frome also in P3, braking at the 150 board for the final time here at the Fuji International Speedway. You can see the consistency has been pretty good ever since we got released, and even in the first race, you know, the lap times were pretty close together. Within, I think all of them were within about 1/10 of a second, which, you know, definitely really good, really reassuring. The consistency's there. Just need to get a bit more raw pace, but you know, can't really be saying much. I've won every race and polled it 3 out of 4 times. Wait, 3 out of 4 times? No, 2 out of 3 times. My apologies. 2 out of 3 times. So not doing too bad in these RX-7s. Obviously, with the Corvettes in 2 weeks' time. Willis closing up a little bit on us through that middle sector. Isn't quite going to be enough to attack us into the final sector. He's going to need a stellar final sector to launch an attack coming down the main straight for the final lap. You can see just driving at home, really being cautious. Do not want to get a penalty or anything of the sort. Frome all over the back of Willis as well. Definitely could be a close fight for P2. Willis trying to reclaim onto the podium once again after just missing out on it in the first race, and wanting to get back on to this podium here in M5. Frome getting a little squirmy out of the penultimate corner, coming into the final corner then for the final time. We've got a bit of a gap behind, so it looks like we're going to manage to hold on unless we get a bit squirmy. No, we've got the power down, so it looks like definitely we're going to come across the line to win for the 6th consecutive time here in N5 Season 5, which has just, yeah, it's been a stellar start to the season, if I have to be honest. Absolutely stellar. Could not have asked for a better start. Shame, of course, we lost the streak of pole.
No, it weren't.
But yeah, Willis drove a great race. Wasn't too bad ourselves. Great battling from everyone involved. Myself, Willis, Frome and Blue Mosquito all doing a stellar job there. And it was just great racing, to be honest. So that was us losing the streak in quali, not in the race. Got you there, but that was round 3 at Fuji here for N5. If you have enjoyed, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have made it this far, I would greatly appreciate it. Leave below what you'd like to see on the channel, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.